I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't know how to start this video.
What?
Hey guys, my name is Divya, but you can call me Div. I am a mid-level competitive Splatoon 3 player, and I specialize in the Dualie class, specifically Splat Dualies and Tetras. Although I'm not the best in the world, I like to consider myself pretty good. I think I'm decent. Yeah. I always enjoy studying and playing Dualies, so I've been able to pick apart playstyles, mechanics, and awareness. With that, I'm compiling a 3-part installment series to help new Dualie players grasp the ropes and educate the community. Today, we will be discussing the foundation of Splat Dualies, also called vDualies, pointing out Dualie misconceptions, advantages, disadvantages, playstyles, and gear. With that being said, let's dive into the misconceptions of Dualies. When you think of the word Dualies, what do you imagine? Is it someone dodging around the enemy team? Crazy camera angles of getting a double, triple, quad even? Okay, nice. Got 2. Got 3. Wait, this is my quad. This is my quad! Give me my quad! Yeah! A common misconception is that Dualies will always want to be an aggressive weapon, and thus must always play for kills. Although this is true in some scenarios, if you play vDualies as an aggressive weapon without considering the enemy's composition or counterplay, you will become predictable and start feeding. I'd like to consider vDualies a unique gun because it is the only weapon class in the game that has dodge rolls, a movement option that can exploit people's poor mechanical skills and force them to alternate their focus from objective or stalling. Roles and mechanics will be covered in the second part of this series, so for now just keep this in the back of your mind. Another thing that people tend to overlook is vDualie's paint output. I believe it's very good, allowing it to not only paint for itself, but to paint for others, thus being able to be a fluid weapon. Dualies are pretty independent when it comes to its capabilities, being able to play aggressively through roles and mobility, and playing support through its strong kit of suction bomb and crap tank. Because of this, your weapon has the ability to fill in gaps that your team could be missing. Are you guys not playing aggressive enough? Well, play more forward. Do you guys have no paint on the ground? Use your gun to paint. Dualie paint is one of its best advantages. When a gun paints, its bullet determines how consistently it paints. I use the word paints twice. Ha! vDualie's bullets are very consistent, allowing it to easily paint and maintain turf while being able to paint for a crab quickly. vDualie's kit of suction bomb and crab tank is extremely well-rounded for the weapon. Suction bomb forces the enemy to make a decision at a later time when it explodes, making it a great tool to deny area and adding pressure to the objective. Crab tank is used to get your team back into advantage state, stall out your offense, and even can be used to draw aggro. Because of this, crab tank is considered one of the stronger specials in the game due to how much respect it gets when it's popped properly. Something to keep in mind is that when you have crab tank as a vDualie, you'll have to give up a little bit of your positioning to pop a crab, and being a gun that wants to be up, it can be difficult to pop efficient crabs. One thing I recommend is to monitor your special gauge. When you get closer to your crab, prioritize your life. A general rule of thumb to know when to fight or build for crab is taking note when your special gauge is about 50 to 75% filled. Of course, each situation presents different decisions and outcomes, so take this with a pinch of salt since you might be better off getting a kill even when you're closer to crab. Another easy mistake to make is popping crab at low ground. If you pop your crab on low ground, you increase your chances of being rushed and potentially punished. Make it harder for people to fight you by popping it on elevated areas, even if it's small. Lastly, do not use it as a panic button. Crab is not a good escape option if you find yourself in a bad fight. The startup time is slow and extremely risky to use. If you're in a sticky situation and have crab, it's best to jump out or die so you lose some of your special. Moving on, let's discuss vDualie's versatility. When there is a niche weapon in a composition, counters can shut them down completely, putting their team into a disadvantaged state for the rest of the game. However, if a Dualie is countered, it's fluid enough to support through good paint and taking high risk, high reward fights, making it a strong weapon. Something to keep in mind is that being fluid with vDualies is hard. It requires being experienced in situations which, well, take time. make sure to check in with yourself and know that it takes a lot of practice to understand fast-paced situations and how to react to them. A good starting point is to understand how an enemy comp counters you or exploits your disadvantages. Because of vDualie's short range, weapons like splatlings, rollers, stampers, brushes, chargers, blasters, shooters, brellas, sloshers, and bows, I'm pretty sure that's like every other weapon in the game, they can abuse a lot of their range to fight vDualies. However, you will be able to counter these weapons with these following concepts. The first counter is using your rolls and maneuverability to win your fights. This can be used for all weapons to exploit their poor mechanics and pattern recognition, but the weapons that struggle the most with this counter are chargers and blasters. Those guns are what we call one-shots, where they have to either charge a shot or are in end lag once they shoot. If you're able to bait that shot, you can rush them. Another counter is pairing up with a teammate. For weapons that have good range like Stamper, strong chip like Rush, or a shield like Brella can be difficult for dualies to go up against alone. Pairing up with another teammate can help alleviate some of the pressure you would originally face by forcing them into a 2v1 situation. For weapons like rollers, sloshers, and blasters, establishing turf around them before engaging a fight is always a good idea. These weapons, although strong, heavily rely on paint. Make sure to outpaint them before taking a fight. I used paint again twice. God damn it, dude! What? The last counter, although lame, is great against backlines like chargers, flatlings, and bows. Because of your versatile kit, you can counter through spamming specials and subs, forcing backlines to reposition. Another disadvantage that Dualie has is being an easy feeding weapon. When in disadvantage, Dualie players sometimes find themselves going into situations that they feel that they can get an opportunity off of, when in reality, they can't. Why is that? It's common to think that your good movement advantage against other weapons can get you good picks, so you go into a bad situation thinking you can get a kill. Don't do this. If you're learning how to play dualies, you need to first understand how dualies function in a disadvantaged state. Mechanical-wise, the weapon doesn't really offer a lot of safe options that a weapon has in its toolbox that gives them the lowest risk with the highest reward. Some options can range from a charger being able to pressure at a long distance, like pencil, or maybe a slosher being able to slosh over ledges. Unfortunately, dualies do not have a safe option, so it must use its body to create an option for their team to play off of, creating a high risk situation for the team. The counter? Change your playstyle. Because of vDualie's flexible playstyle, it is up to the player to understand when it is appropriate to switch. Playstyles can mix together depending on several factors, but the two major ones that Dualie players perform are aggressive and supportive. The first playstyle is an aggressive playstyle. This is in favor for compositions that have dive weapons or weapons that continuously fight, and through the aggressive use of rolls and mechanics, you can create opportunities through being a strong focal point in your offense. Some pros include being able to force the enemy team to always engage you, taking away their time from objective, and on the chance that you're able to out-mechanic them, you will have an easier time getting kills. Cons include being susceptible to entering a feed stagger, a state where a player or team are repeatedly spawning in and dying within the first 15 seconds, and being unable to break out of defense unless if you use Crab Tank, in which you will be in a state where you cannot use your body. Moving on, the second common style is the support playstyle. This playstyle is in favor for compositions that want to support double midline or want to support a core pair-up in the composition. This playstyle is great to fall back on when the enemy team begins to counter you. Pros of a supportive dualie is being able to support your team passively through consistent paint, bombs, and grabs. You're dying less and you're able to change your role into an aggressor to clean up kills. Of course, you're not as aggressive to support your teammates and you're stuck spamming, which, although isn't a bad thing, can become boring at times, but it's what helps your team win the game. Lastly, you're heavily relied on to break your team from defense, so in order to play as optimally as possible, you need to make some gear. Now, I'm not going to tell you what to run on your gear set and berate you if you don't run what I run. I am a full believer to run what you feel comfortable that helps you perform a certain playstyle that you want to achieve. For guidance purposes, gear abilities that I recommend for an aggressive playstyle are quick respawn, quick super jump, stealth, comeback, and swim speed. Here is what my aggressive build looks like. For a supportive playstyle, I recommend Inksaver sub, Inksaver main, last ditch effort, stealth, comeback, and special charge up. This is what my support build looks like. I tend to use this build for zones. Don't be afraid to mix your support and aggro gear to create a specific playstyle or counter a team, or just to try new things. Here are some variations. I hope you all were able to learn something new from this video. I want to give a quick shout out to Velvet for helping me get clips for the intro, and Kevin for general tips on video production. These videos take time, so it would mean a lot if you guys could support through sharing, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Part 2 should be out in the near future, so be on the lookout for that. With that being said, thank you for watching, stay safe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!